Miss Fish. I am here to go over how to take Cornell notes in my classroom. So I would encourage you to watch this in case you need a refresher or maybe you missed class on the day that we took these notes. Alright, so before we begin, I would like to show you the sheet that I call your Cornell note template. Alright, so up here, you'll notice that there's a spot for your name. So what you're going to do is make sure you write your name down. This is in case your paper gets misplaced and I know who it belongs to. Alright, so notice here I have the class already filled in for you. It's fish and it's biology. Alright, and then the topic today is how we're going to take Cornell notes. And as we move through our PowerPoint, you'll see that the topic is going to be at the top here on each slide. Alright, so that's going to be where your topic is located. So today's date, the date that we are taking the notes on is 8/27/2018. And let's say, for instance, I'm in first period. Alright, so put whatever period you are in, not necessarily first if you're in a different class. Alright, so far so good. We are started. One other thing that I want you to pay attention to is the page number. Your page number is going to be located up here. Alright, notice I don't have one here, but you should have one on your paper. Alright, so let's begin. If you notice today, our objective is I can use a Cornell note template to take notes in class. So this is what I'm considering as our Cornell note template. And we're going to go through together today to show you how to fill it out. So again, here's our topic. Our topic is right here. Alright, so our first key idea is what are Cornell notes? Underneath that key idea, we have our notes. It states that Cornell notes are a form of note-taking to help you prepare for future tests and quizzes. Alright, so you're on the same page. Over here, if we look, we have our key ideas. It says, what are Cornell notes? It matches this first bullet point right here. So that's going to be your key idea. So in my key idea section, I already wrote for you, what are Cornell notes? So in the notes section of our paper, we're going to write down this bullet point that's right below that main idea. So, for example, I will write down, Cornell notes are a form of note-taking to help prepare for future tests and quizzes. Alright, so that is my notes on this main idea. Now we're going to talk about how Cornell notes are designed. That's my next main idea. So I jump back over here to the slideshow. It says, how are Cornell notes designed? There are 3 different components to Cornell note-taking. They are the key ideas, the notes, and the summary. So if we jump over here, here's our key idea section. Alright, this long column right here. Our notes section, which is the biggest section, if you look at the top of the page, it says notes. And then down here we have our summary section. Alright, so right next to that main idea, I'm going to go ahead and write down my notes on how they are designed. So there are 3 components to Cornell note-taking. And those 3 components, I'm going to go ahead and number them, are the key ideas, the notes, and finally the summary. Alright, down front, there we go. The summary. Alright, so now we're going to go through and talk about each of these components. Notice our next main idea is the key ideas. Look at that. Key ideas, key ideas. Cool. Alright, so key ideas. The key ideas section is a small section to the left of the page. This is where you write the key components or main ideas of this lesson. So I'm going to pause and go here and write down my notes for that key idea. All right, so the key ideas section is a small section to the left of the page. And it will always be on the left-hand side. I will never move it on you. This section, this is where, you write the key components or the main ideas of the lesson. So today's lesson is talking about how we're taking Cornell notes, and here are those key ideas to taking those Cornell notes. All right, so I wrote all my key ideas down for you already, and now we are taking the notes. Our next key idea is notes. So we're going to go ahead and take notes on notes. So this section takes up the majority of the page. It is to the right of the key ideas section. The notes should match up with each key idea. The notes will explain each key idea. All right, so if you notice on our notes section, even though I had space here to start typing, the next section of notes, I didn't. I skipped down to where that key idea was and wrote the notes right next to that key idea. All right, so I made sure they matched. This way, when I'm reading through things, I'm like, oh, I need information on the key ideas section. Here's the key ideas section right here. I can look over and read about it. Okay, so it's important that they match. So it says this section takes up the majority of the page. It is to the right of the key ideas section. The notes should match up with each key idea. The notes will explain each key idea. Okay, so this section of notes right here, this section, is explaining this key idea. Same thing with this section. This section of notes is explaining this key idea. Okay, moving on. The last section of notes for Cornell Notes is the summary section. So the summary section, if we look, it says this section is small, and at the bottom of the page. So it's right here. And you'll write 4 or more sentences in your own words describing what you learned from the notes. I don't want you copying from your friends. I don't want you copying word from word what I wrote. I want you to describe to me what you learned. All right? So this section is small and at the bottom of the page. You will write 4 or more sentences in your own words describing what you learned from the notes. Moving on, we're almost done taking notes today. Moving on, our next main idea or key idea is how to use these Cornell notes to study. So how are we going to use these Cornell notes to study? The first step, what you're going to do is you're going to go through and reread your notes in the right-hand column or the note section. So I'm going to sit here at home, maybe while I'm waiting for the bus, or you have a little break at work. You're going to take a moment and read this section of notes. So you're going to start Cornell notes or from note taking and go all the way through the bottom, through the whole entire page. After you do that 1 or 2 times, all right, you're going to jump over and go through the key ideas. All right, so we're going to focus on understanding the key ideas in the left column using the information in the notes section. So if I go through and I read through these key ideas and I get to, let's say I'm at the section where it says how Cornell notes are designed. I'm like, well, I know there's 3 components. I know there is a main idea section, there's a summary section, but there's something in between. I can't really remember it. Oh, what do I do? And you're going to look directly next to it and find out that the section that you were missing was the notes. All right, so that's why it's important for these to match up so that when you're reviewing and you get stumped or you don't know what something is, you can go straight back to your notes and find the information quickly. All right, and so the key ideas are the most important things. You are likely to see them on a test or a quiz. All right, so the key ideas are the most, oh, I'm starting at the wrong spot. Woohoo, let me back up. So we're going to reread your notes. That's our first piece of information on how to study Cornell notes. All right, so reread your notes in the right column or the notes section. And then what we're going to do is we are going to focus on understanding the key ideas in the left column using the information in the notes section. And then finally, the key ideas are the most important things. You are likely to see them on a quiz or a test. Okay. So you're like, Miss Fish, you gave me this piece of paper. Where do I put this piece of paper? Good question. You are going to put this piece of paper in your biology notebook. Now remember, on the very first day of school, on August 23rd, I told you you needed a composition notebook for this class. You should have told me before today if you needed help getting one. Please make sure you have a composition notebook for class tomorrow so we can go ahead and put it together. All right, so let's go ahead and take our notes. That aside, we're going to go ahead and take our notes on where do we put our notes. So you are going to place your notes in your biology notebook, the page in which they should go on is listed in the upper right hand corner. So that is where your notes should go. So up here on your paper, there will be a page number. That page number needs to correspond and be glued or taped on to the page number in your notebook. All right, so tomorrow I'll show you where you're going to put this inside your notebook. Just hold on to it and keep it safe for now. All right, so now what you need to do is make sure you go back through, reread your notes, write a 4-sentence or longer summary of your notes. If you have any questions on what we covered in this video, please let me know either before class or after class so we can make sure you understand what needs to happen. I hope you have a great day. See you in class.